Welcome to Doing Good Business, where purpose powers profit with Hilton and Sam.
Yeah, that's exactly what we do. Doing Good Business every Friday. Hilton Theunissen joins us. Good day, sir. How are you doing?
I'm really good. We have a jingle?
You know, we're growing up, eh? We're growing up. We're adding some
Yes.
laces to our boots. Glad to hear. Good to hear
Good
from
morning
you.
from everyone, and good to. I haven't seen you. Are you still a young man?
No. I'm not. I haven't. I've aged
Okay.
dramatically since you've seen me. Life
Since we now have a jingle and
has
you've
gotten to me.
aged,
Yeah.
yeah, you have a jingle and it's age, and you have an awesome, producer that is following up on stuff.
He's killing it at
It
the
seems that
moment.
this
Tim is on
segment
fire.
is. It seems like this segment is getting a little bit structured. I mean, like now
I
we.
rebuke you in the name of Lord Jesus Christ. I don't know what you are saying. I have no idea.
I'm like, we now have a.
Devil, you shall not proceed. Listen, let's get to business quickly. Very
Yes.
quickly tell me, growth wheel. What was the thing that kept you up this week? Something that you looked at before we very quickly run through the headlines.
I think for me, for us, it's always about data, right? We obviously in 70 countries, we have 5 offices around the world. This thing between Canada and USA, and particularly how it impacts small businesses in those ecosystems that trade a lot with each other. Of course, there we do, business development support with the SBDCs and so forth. And it's just interesting how geopolitics and all these kind of things, tariffs, war, it's just like we've been around for 20 years, and it seems the technology that we have available today with AI and everything is 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 right here, right now, for the right challenges that we face in economies to do good business around the world. And that's been on my thought this week. I'm like, part of what we need to do in the South African ecosystem and in the African ecosystem is to understand the value of data and these evolution of, people might call it trending technologies, and trending things like AI, but this is now part of our life, and how do we use that in the South African context?
While you
Particularly because this week, if I flow into our conversation, uh, we hear that through those that kind of predicts what South Africa will be like, is that we've been downgraded to a 1.5% growth, economic growth. Too little for us as a country. But based on what? And so this thing about digitalization is something that we all need to not grapple with, but to live with and adopt at an accelerated pace. And I know that there's been talk, that party that you like, been talking about this as well.
Hey, whatever, man. Listen, I don't even know what party you want to talk about. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole. Very quickly reflect for me on the tourism industry. I am fortunate enough that I get to speak to a bunch of brands that play in
Yes.
the tourism space, and South Africa's tourism industry continues its impressive recovery.
You know what's happening around the world? Spain and whoever lose electricity for a day don't know what to do. We've been living with and operating with, load shedding. We know how to respond to this. We are not involved in any wars or whatever the case may be. The rand, dollar, pound, all these things. We are always open for people to come to our restaurants, our beaches, to our holiday accommodations, and we're always open to host conferences here. And of course, there was COVID, but what the Ministry of Tourism, and the broader ecosystem are reporting is that we are recovering extremely well, and South Africa is a place to come and relax, get the good buck for your money. And it's just not Cape Town or Western Cape, but throughout the country, people are going and coming here, and it has helped us with creating jobs, and we have tremendous recovery, um, and also the Ministry of Home Affairs has come up with some almost like a group visa processing, and we already see the Chinese coming in to come and do holidays here and get their visas processed as a group within 1 week. So, there's digitalization, that's the GNU, that's good for our business, that's what government is supposed to do. And of course, hopefully, that will maybe in 6 months' time take our projected growth from 1.5% to 3% or 5%. We certainly need the country to work. So that's been very positive news.
Yeah, and obviously the impact is there'll be thousands of SMEs that operate, or SMEs that operate in the sector, from tour operators to hospitality businesses that will benefit from this.
Yeah, I mean, like we had 8 million people last year. We're projecting there's 15 million people coming. When there's 15 million people coming, their bags need to be carried, their shoes needs to be cleaned, they need to eat, the sheets that they sleep on. They buy stuff, they like buying local stuff. I was yesterday at the Boerewors and a foreigner bought 5,000 rand worth of biltong and droewors in front of me.
Wow.
And that is, I saw that yesterday, and so it definitely has a very broad ecosystem and economic influence when we showcase that we actually a place where you can calm your farm and spend your money and have a great, memorable experience. And we need to create that more and more throughout South Africa.
Yeah, that's really great. Tech innovation spotlight very quickly.
Listen, the African continent is, for some reason, we have just become the money baby again. I don't know where it came from. Last year we raised somewhere around 4 billion. This quarter that we've just gone past, we've already reached around $300 million in funding being raised by startups. The South African startup ecosystem, this week we hosted as Growthfield the HALT $1 million South African finalists. For the first year we held the competition at our office. The kind of ideas that came out of there was awesome. We had a keynote speaker, Siyabulela Kusa. He's got a 12th planet named after him. People around the world are trying to get hold of him instead of Elon Musk. It tells us that in our universities we have amazing people that don't want to leave the country, that are doing amazing stuff, and things like fintech and digital payments and all these kind of things are happening at a speed faster than government can respond. But we are a productive society. We do have, among those 15 million people that are economically active, we have some thinkers, we have disruptors, and we're certainly going to leverage what is available, like the fintech ecosystem, and grow there. And that will create opportunities in some way at a scale, again, similar to the tourism sector.
Yeah,
if people can pay and take the cash out, we can know with that data where business opportunities and business development support opportunities exist within the South African ecosystem.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add some context. You threw out that name, Siyabulela Kusa. He is a energy engineering expert. He's also the managing director of Galactic Energy Ventures. Yeah. And yeah, he's what?
When is he coming onto the show?
Yeah, in actual fact, we should bring him in.
Yes.
He's earned recognition from the Massachusetts Institute. I'm going to butcher that. Massachusetts Institute of Technology. That's MIT for other people. So yeah, that's a great name. And then, of course, I think so. We've had a stunning, and then social enterprise success. You can do that in 30 seconds.
I know that's your baby, right?
30 seconds.
The circular economy, is one that we can tap in so much. We've I've seen people take clothing and turn it into books. We've seen people taking tires now and turning it into petrol, and all kinds of furniture and etc. We have enough waste. How do we take that waste and bring it back into our ecosystem, in our retail ecosystem, in the way that we produce things? And I think that's so beautiful for us, and the social entrepreneurship ecosystem is where that is happening. What that ecosystem need is money. There's an evolution of NGOs becoming venture studios and startup studios, and solo venture capitalists. Where VC is not the big boy anymore, and it's the small guy, the social enterprise was 10 million making small ticket investments and building equity. There's definitely some innovation that's happening in small pockets that this show and you the entire week, 91.9 FM, kind of elevate and give a dimension. So very positive, Sam. As I go out, the Jobs Boost Outcomes Fund is showing seeds of things that will come if the country, now that we've had a December, April, another Christmas, Easter holiday, and now that we have a new pope, that maybe there's something that's going to come as we head into winter that will be a productive society. And the May month of celebrating Africa, that we are all positively thinking of good business and doing good business, so that next week we'll have another round of good news business roundup.
Ah, fantastic. Hilton Theunissen, always a pleasure talking to you. That's our weekend segment, Doing Good Business, Friday segment, Doing Good Business with Hilton Theunissen. And just, some really positive news coming out of South Africa. And, just a great week to feel really awesome, feel good about yourself, feel good about this brand we call South Africa. From us, it's a wrap. Paul Angel is next. Remember, have a good weekend, but more importantly, be good, do good.